There are all sorts of questions coming into us about the case in Florida. There's all sorts of news on it. We have been all over it and we'll update you on what we know. Plus, can you imagine waiting for your cruise and the cruise line reaching out to you saying, we have overbooked for capacity and we need you to consider moving your sailing? It's happening in the UK. Plus, great news with Royal Caribbean in Galveston. Let's talk about all the news right now on Island Time. Welcome to Island Time. This is your host, Derek. We are so grateful that you are spending some time with us today, right here on Island Time. And first things first, happy Father's Day to all you fathers, all the father figures, and single moms. This is also a day for you. My mom was a single mom. She played all the roles in the house. I'm so blessed to have her, and she's made me who I am today. So happy Father's Day to everyone celebrating. I've got two boys, and so it's a special day for me as my 5-year-old and 2-year-old crawled up to me and said, Daddy, I love you, I love you. And that's the best present anybody can get. So happy Father's Day. Let's talk about the news in cruising. First off, what an awesome shot behind us as the crew of the Carnival Breeze. They're ready. They are so ready to welcome us back on board. You can see them in the picture behind me. 25 days for your fun to begin again. They're right there in one of the main dining rooms. Looks like it's the aft dining room. And they said, stronger than ever, we are back. And we are so excited for July the 15th on the Carnival Breeze. How awesome is that? We are so excited. And the restart, it is here. It feels like it's here. The energy is in the air. In all the cruises that were going on and the groups that we're in and Facebook, all the groups are stirred up with this excitement. There are normal conversations taking place about excursions, about travel plans. When is everyone getting there? Do you want to go out the night before? And then, of course, all the events on board. It's really starting to feel like this thing is real. And we want it to be, but it's finally starting to feel like we're cruising. July the 3rd, of course, on the Vista out of Galveston. July the 4th, the Horizon's leaving out of Miami. And the Breeze, of course, leaving July the 15th. And don't forget about Mardi Gras, the inaugural cruise, finally July the 31st. Let's talk about Florida. We had so many questions yesterday, and I will put a link right here to our video. If you click that right there, then you will be able to watch the video from yesterday that has all sorts of in-depth coverage. It has a longer conversation than what we will have today. But I do want to mention some things because there were all sorts of questions and activity on our post yesterday, both on Facebook and on YouTube. And I'll take this chance to say, if you haven't joined our Facebook group, look in the description below. Click that link. It will take you to the group. You can join our Facebook page and be part of the conversation. And if you have not subscribed, we are so close to 1,000 subscribers in just 5 weeks' time. This channel is 5 weeks old. 1,000 subscribers is a huge deal. Please consider subscribing and tell your husband or your wife, your best friends, those that you travel with, please share it with them as well. We want this community to grow. We love interacting with you and sharing the current news and what cruising is like, both in a irregular time, but in the months and years going forward in a regular time. We're so excited to keep growing this community of islanders. So, cruise news. Florida first. Here's one thing that I want all of us to remember, and that is we are living in an age and at a time in June of 2021 where the governor of Florida, Ron DeSantis, wants cruise lines to cruise. The CDC, for the past couple of months, they're okay. They want cruise lines to cruise. So federal agencies, state agencies, they all want cruises to take place. That's one thing we have going in our favor. We have plans to cruise right now under the current framework and conditions and reality. All of us know who are cruising next month. We know that it's out there. We know what we have to do. Carnival has shared protocols. We know what it's going to look like. People have gotten vaccines. Children and those who can't have the vaccine have applied for exemptions. Most of those cruises that are taking place in early July have already been notified. We know what it looks like, but there is a little hiccup in this track where the federal judge in Tampa, Judge Mary Day, he made a decision. Now, it's not the final decision. Don't think this thing is over. This is not over by any means. There is a preliminary injunction in place, okay? And this whole case revolves around this question, okay? Does the CDC have the inherent power to oversee the cruise industry as they have in the past 15 months and going forward? Does the CDC have the power? That's what the whole case is about, okay? The judge has said, no, they don't have the power to keep doing what they're doing. They don't. So the judge has told the CDC, you have 2 weeks. Go back to the drawing board. You have 2 weeks to come up with a more narrow approach, a more hands-off approach, an approach where you, the CDC entity, does not have sole power to oversee and roll over the cruise industry. I expect the CDC to take those 2 weeks and come up with a more narrow set of protocols and things that they would like to help govern and put in place. I mentioned yesterday the port agreements, I think, will be a huge focus, making sure that cruise lines have agreements with their local ports on a worst case scenario. If something happens, this is how things are going to be taken care of as far as the boat coming back to the port. How are we going to get those that need medical help off the port? How are we going to get healthy people and those that want to go home off the boat? And so I think that's going to be part of the conversation. But this is nowhere near over. But it also is not just a victory for the state of Florida in the fact that the CDC cannot impose the conditional sell order over cruise lines anymore. That's not what it is, okay? There's still so much more to go on here, but I want us to remember everybody wants us to cruise. They've all approved cruising, and we're going to cruise. It's going to be a matter of what exactly does it look like, especially over time, these next couple of months, okay? So I wanted to mention that update on Florida. We'll keep our eyes on it, but don't think that this decision has just thrown away Carnival's plans or Royal Caribbean's plans for July, okay? We will see what happens. We also have good news in Galveston, and I'm telling you, Galveston, they have knocked out the last 3 or 4 months. They have had a solid performance, and their PR has been awesome. So many activities regarding cruising, both the return of cruising, but then this new terminal from Royal Caribbean, which was in place before COVID, okay? It was in place, but they finally got the ball rolling on a new terminal for Royal Caribbean in an Oasis class ship to be hosted there. And this is big news because Galveston has traditionally been kind of ruled by Carnival. I live in Arkansas. We drive or fly to Galveston several times a year and love Galveston. It's a beautiful place to visit, but Carnival has dominated the market for so long, and Royal Caribbean is saying no longer, okay? We saw it when we were in Port Canaveral, and the Mardi Gras came in because that is her home. She came in, and it was a huge celebration. And a few hours later, Royal Caribbean did not let Carnival steal the day. The Odyssey of the Seas came in. Everyone got to see the Odyssey of the Seas. It was a really cool moment, but it's just, it's a chess game, and competition is a good thing. And so Royal Caribbean has announced a $110 million terminal in Galveston. It has started. Now, most of this area, it's about 10 acres. Right now, it's concrete. Most of you who have been to Galveston, you would probably recognize where this terminal is going to be if I had a picture to show you. But it's mostly concrete now, so they're busting up the concrete. They're going to build the terminal, a $110 million terminal, and it's supposed to be ready by November of 2022. Okay, so just over a year. You're looking at like 14 months. It's pretty impressive to build a terminal, but again, this has been put on hold. So most of the materials have probably been secured. The plans have been finalized. They're not yet made available. I've seen several versions of it, but not the final version. But it's a great sign that the rebound and the restart of cruising is here, okay? The Allure of the Seas. Allure of the Seas is the ship that's going to be based in Galveston. It's an Oasis class ship, and it's going to bring, a different class of ship, a different type of ship, as she's large, she's huge, and it's going to give a lot of Royal Caribbean fans, of course, something to celebrate about, but also Carnival fans. If you've never tried the ship, I know you've seen them. I know you've been in Cozumel, and an Oasis class ship is there too, and you look at it and you're like, oh my gosh, look at that ship and look at our ship. Even if you're on a nice big Carnival ship, they're just huge. And so it will be great, but you can guarantee that Carnival's not going to let Royal Caribbean steal the day or steal the year. There's already talk of what will come to Galveston in the years ahead from Carnival Cruise Lines. Right now, the Vista is there, the Breeze is there, the Dream is there. They have some beautiful ships in Galveston already, but will Carnival bring one of the XL ships to Galveston? We shall see. We already know that the Celebration is going to be in Miami, and so maybe the third ship in that class, maybe it goes to Galveston. Who knows? It's a huge port for Carnival and for the cruise industry. So it's going to be fun to track. It's going to be fun to follow. And we'll do that, of course, right here on Island Time. And how about this? I had to read this twice. So the UK has extended some of the protocols in place for cruising, and Royal Caribbean has been cruising out of the UK, and they're going to continue cruising this summer. But Royal Caribbean they notified some passengers who had cruises booked for this summer that because of the change in protocols in the UK government and the restrictions and things that have been extended, that they were going to have to ask some people to move their cruise date, move the sail date. And you and I, we've had cruises canceled, rebook, cancel again, and now we're looking like we're cruising. Could you imagine if Carnival or Royal Caribbean for North America said, hey, cruising's about to resume, but there's something that is out of our hands, okay, the government, which is not the case, this is hypothetical, but something out of our hands has come about, and we're going to need to ask people to switch sail dates and sail another date. It would not happen. Oh my gosh. Listen to this. They're being made to reduce their capacity, so you can move from one sail date to another sail date, okay, and keep your cabin class. And this, of course, is on the Allure of the Seas, I believe. Yes, the Anthem of the Seas, the Anthem of the Seas. So you can switch your sail date, keep your cabin, and you know what they're going to do for you for doing that and for helping them? They're going to give you $50 per cabin. $50 per cabin. Oh my gosh. I'm glad we are not in that scenario. I saw that this morning and thought, I don't know anybody that would give up their stateroom and their sail date. Not even for $200, $500. So it's going to be interesting to see if that approach works, or if you fly a lot, this happens on airlines, and they'll come out and say a $200 voucher, American Airlines, we're overbooked, $200 voucher. And they give it 5 minutes and no one jumps at that. Okay, the vouchers are now $350. And so they just keep going. I've seen it before go up to $700 or $800 if you'd move your flight. But I cannot imagine, and I'm glad that is not us. We are so ready to cruise. We're getting ready. Our luggage is down. We're ordering things off of Amazon. We'll create a video of some things that we always order and have with us. We're so glad to be a part of a community. We are an equal part as you are, nothing more. We enjoy the conversation that we have both on Facebook and YouTube. It's great to be an islander, and it's great to be living in a time where we can enjoy vacations and cruises like we do. Until next week, tomorrow possibly, we'll see what news comes out. from Florida and other places. We will cover it all right here. Have a great day and a great rest of your weekend. That's all from Island Time.